Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tuesday and I have a layout for you that is very spring-like. It's actually more foodie, I guess. It's not really spring-like. But back at Mother's Day, around this time last year, there was a new place that opened close to us and it was for poke bowls. So like fresh ahi tunas and sprouts and wholesome, just yummy goodness. And my daughter was really enjoying poke bowls and she said, "Oh, I want to try that place." So her and I went and had lunch there. And it was kind of funky and cool, and I liked it, but I just felt like it was a little bit pricey, and it wasn't. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. I guess I'm used to preparing my own food, so I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to freshness and flavor. But it was a good experience, and I always love having lunch with my daughters. And so my oldest daughter really enjoys exploring new places to eat, and her and I really enjoy each other's time together. So it was fun. But of course, I started with a cut file, and this is a cut file called All the Goodness. It is from Cut to You, and I think you can find them. I think they have their own website, or maybe they're on Etsy. I think they do have their own website, but you can look on Etsy. I could be wrong. Um, anyway, I do love their cut files, and this one is like, it was perfect because it was all the goodness of today being, for me, that meant the goodness and the wholesomeness of the food and the time with my daughter. And it was a pretty day. I mean, just everything about that day was just nice and goodness. So I even got to use some really old paper. I think this is a really old, like, I can't even remember the name of the company. It's been out of business for so long. But anyway, it was a kind of an off color on one side that was like a soft grayish blue. And then the other side was this stripe that was brown and blue. And, back when pink and brown and blue and brown, people were putting that together. So not really my color palette, but I like to take those and use them for cut files because then I'm not wasting paper. And I think this soft grayish blue worked out really well because I grabbed some old stacks of 6x6 and just kind of layered up my photos with those and backed the cut file with those and used a few scraps from my scrap bin, and it kept all of the colors pretty soft, and I do like the way it turned out. The only thing is I thought I was going to use this piece of Maggie Holmes Flourish paper for the background, but something about the color was throwing me off, and I think that it was because the pink the color of the pink was kind of blending too well with the colors I used to back the cut file and the photos. So that was one thing throwing me off. The other thing was I wanted to use both of these pictures, and I end up using only one. So I'm going to go through the process of digging through all these old 6x6 papers and backing the pictures, but I quickly discovered that those two pictures did not go well together on this layout. So I'm going to cut it off and just use the one that is the actual picture of the food. And then I'll just save the other one for another layout. Because I do like that little meme. It says, two basic emotions with food and no food. And my daughter's very much that way. And I thought that it would be great to put on this layout, but all of the colors just weren't jiving. So black and white with the not the greatest quality photo, so the lighting wasn't that great. And then I've got these soft colors on the background of the cut file. I mean, just I was like, okay, I'm going to grab new papers and see what will work. And this is a paper pad from Heidi Swapp, and it's called Sugar Chic. And oh my gosh, I've had it forever. And it's got some glitter to it. It's got some pretty strong color, like bold colors. And I think that's what I needed. I needed a pop. I originally thought I'd do the yellow, but everything blended in too much with the yellow. I just needed a bright pop of color, and I found it with this stripe. So I'm going to use this stripe as the background. I did want to add a little more yellow because that was originally what I thought I would switch to. So I take this floral piece of paper that was quite busy, and I go ahead and back the photo with some of it so I can get some of the yellow out of that. And so the photos have probably 4 or 5 layers of paper underneath them, but that's okay because I'm going to end up popping up this cut file like I like to do, and so it doesn't look like it's that ridiculously layered up on the photo, but it kind of is. So now that I've decided I'm just going to do the one photo and I'm going to have this pop of color behind it, I went ahead and went with the diagonal of the paper. I mean, what better way to mix it up? And I just thought throwing it a little off center and using it on the diagonal would be cute. And so I'm going to go through my foam tape, pop this up. Some of those little thin areas are pretty hard to get your tape thin enough, but I managed. I figured it out. That is the one thing I don't like about popping up cut files, if they have like little thin lines where I've got to do little teeny tiny pieces like this. It just, I don't know, that bothers me for some reason. I like to use a full piece, or at least one that's cut in half, not a little sliver. So, and then you've got to peel all those little things. Like, am I the only one that doesn't like peeling off like the backing to stuff, or opening packages, or getting plastic wrap off of labels or containers? It just drives me nuts. I'm like, I feel like I'm trying to break into Fort Knox, or I'm trying to do some tedious, redundant task. And my oldest daughter loves to peel off stickers and labels and open jars, and so does Alan. And it drives me crazy. I'm like, ugh, why do they make it so hard to get into a bottle of ibuprofen? So that's kind of the feeling I have here with peeling off all these little pieces of sticker backing. But let's see. So if you're like me, comment below. I want to know if I'm the weirdo, because I don't know anybody else that's particular. But if you are, then I would love to have a tribe. So I dug into some old Maggie Holmes Flourish stickers, accent stickers, and they're kind of a plasticky, shiny sticker. And I used the little bow. I popped up the back of it because I needed it to set on the popped up cut file, and I also popped up the XO. And I want to say that's not Flourish. That's from the Carnival collection. Sorry, or Carnival. Anyway, Carousel collection. And then, of course, I did manage to sneak in some labels from the Bloom Street number 13 that I've been putting on layouts. And some of them say, remember that, and feeling fine. And then I'm not sure where I got that little banner from. It was just cut apart and tossed into the mix. I don't recall where I got it from. But I did find these fun little puffy stickers that are from Pick Me Up, Paige Evans Pick Me Up collection, and I end up using a bunch of those, but they're starting to kind of curl up, so I end up having to glue them down just to be safe. But I love the little lemons that I end up putting on top of the photo, and the label next to it says the best, and then I've got a little puffy label up at the top left that says hello, and then I'm going to add like I've got that little, it looks like a shake or a sugary drink down at the bottom, and then a little dot of this little lime color and a couple of little tiny stars, and this camera from those little puffy stickers. So I used quite a few of those. I was pretty impressed with getting to use those. Now I thought I would use some of these Citrus Twist sticky labels, and I do go back to it because there is one I can use, and I'm going to stick it right there. It says Little Things, and I like how it gives me a little more yellow because there is hints of yellow throughout the layout. So I thought that was a good balance. And I'm going to finish up with some white acrylic paint that's watered down and just splatter that around my clusters like I like to do. Oh, and I did use one of those puffy stickers that looks like a little floral burst just above that XO. So I really like this much better than the previous route I was going. In the last video I said I should probably plan my layouts better, but yeah, I didn't really plan this one out. Trial and error. But I like the way it turned out. I'm happy with it, and I hope you are too. I'll have another video for you in a couple of days. Ta-ta for now. Bye.